Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are going to take some pretty ancient spiritual concepts and turn them into a practical, modern science for your life. We're diving into Bhakti and Karma Yoga, not as some abstract ideas, but as real, powerful tools you can actually use to create change.
And to kick things off, just listen to this powerful idea from the 13th century mystic, Rumi. It really gets to the very heart of what we're exploring today. We spend so much of our lives knocking on all these external doors, looking for answers out there. But the real transformation, the door that truly matters, well, it opens from the inside. It's all about unlocking what's already there.
And where does it all start? Well, it kicks off with a fundamental truth about us: desire. It's the engine behind pretty much every single thing we do. But here's the catch. Without any direction, this cycle of desire leading to action, which just creates more desire, it can feel like you're on an endless, totally exhausting treadmill. But you can actually break that cycle down into a really simple but profound formula. It goes like this: vision plus desire plus action equals achievement. Now, this isn't just some theory. This is like the universal mechanic that governs everything, from a local shopkeeper trying to grow their business to a visionary trying to change the world. It is literally how things get done.
So the big question is, how do we get off that treadmill and start moving towards something remarkable? Well, this is the absolute key. It's about channeling our desire, all that raw, powerful energy, and our actions through a single guiding vision. When you do that, you transform the whole cycle from a repetitive loop into a launch pad.
And that guiding vision, it brings us to our first practical tool: Bhakti Yoga. Now hold on, this isn't necessarily about traditional religious worship. Think of it as the science of harnessing our most powerful resource, our emotional energy. It's how we take the desire part of our formula and seriously supercharge it into devotion. So in essence, Bhakti is all about taking the raw, kind of scattered power of all your different desires and focusing it, like a laser beam, on one ideal that you choose. It's this focused longing that becomes the real engine for progress, turning a simple want into this incredibly powerful devotion. And the focus of that devotion, it's deeply, deeply personal. It's called your Ishta, which just means your chosen ideal. And the best part is, this isn't something that's dictated to you. It could be a really profound question like, who am I? Or maybe a powerful affirmation. The point is, you choose what resonates in your heart, what gives your emotional energy a powerful and clear direction. Okay, so how does this work in, a real-world moment? Let's make it practical. Imagine you're stuck in a massive traffic jam. Your knee-jerk reaction is probably anger, frustration, maybe you're honking your horn. But with this practice, you can actually redirect that rising energy. So instead of just wasting it, you transform that feeling of being stuck into a powerful cry for your own growth. See, the energy is exactly the same, but the application is radically different.
All right, so we've harnessed our emotional engine with Bhakti. Now we need to actually steer the vehicle. And this brings us to Karma Yoga, which is really the science of liberating our actions and evolving how we actually show up and engage with the world.
First things first, let's be really clear. Karma isn't some mystical, unchangeable fate. No, it's a very practical law of cause and effect. Simple as that. Your action is the cause, which creates an effect. And this is fantastic news, because it puts all the power right back in your hands. If you can consciously change your actions, you can directly change the outcomes in your life. And this evolution of our actions, it actually happens in stages. We all start at pre-witnessing, just kind of reacting to the world. But then we learn to witness our actions, almost like we're watching from a distance. And that little bit of space, that allows for discrimination, where we can consciously choose our next move from a place of clarity. Over time, that becomes passionate dispassion, where we just automatically act from our deepest values, which leads to the final state, this natural outpouring of divine love. It's a total transformation in how we operate. And the key to moving through all these stages is cultivating inner silence. Practices like meditation. They create a gap, a space, between an impulse and your action. And it's in that stillness that you shift from being a servant to karma, just constantly reacting, to becoming its master, consciously shaping your own reality.
So what happens when you harness your emotions with Bhakti and you liberate your actions with karma? Well, you arrive at the culmination of this whole journey. It's a state called the dance of unity, where stillness and action literally become one, and all these things that seemed like paradoxes, they just beautifully resolve.
And at the very heart of this dance is a fundamental tipping point. Your life transforms from a journey of seeking and wanting, where all your energy is flowing inward, trying to fill some kind of void, to a life of giving,
the flow completely reverses. It's not about pulling things in anymore. It becomes this constant, joyful outpouring of service and love.
This right here is the destination, and it's so dynamic. It is not about becoming numb or passive. It's about stillness in action. You are fully engaged, totally passionate about life, but you're operating from this core of unshakable peace. You can desire things, but without being attached to the outcome. It's a beautiful paradox that you actually get to live.
And so, we're going to end this explainer with a final thought for you to take with you. Because this isn't just a cool theory, it's a potential reality. So take a moment and just ask yourself, if my own life became this dance of passionate dispassion, this dance of unity, what would actually change for me starting today?